The U.S. military has carried out a fourth round of airstrikes against the Iranian-backed Houthis in Yemen. The U.S. says it struck 14 Houthi missiles, which may have been intended for attacks on shipping in the Red Sea. It came just hours after the Houthis used a drone to hit another U.S.-owned cargo ship in the Gulf of Aden. On Wednesday, the United States announced that it's returning the Houthis to a list of global terrorist organizations. The designation will require American financial institutions to freeze Houthi funds, and its members will be banned from the United States. It was back in November that the group began attacking merchant vessels in this key waterway, saying that they were responding to Israel's military operation in Gaza. Since then, the Houthis have launched dozens of attacks on commercial tankers passing through the Red Sea, one of the world's busiest shipping lanes. While answering questions about the latest U.S. strikes in Yemen, the Pentagon's press secretary, Major General Pat Ryder, said the United States is focused on deterring the attacks in the Red Sea. In our assessment, we hit what we intended to hit with good effects. Again, the objective here was to disrupt and degrade Houthi capabilities to conduct attacks. And we believe that, overall, in terms of the scope and the number of strikes that we took, we have degraded their ability to attack. Clearly they maintained some capability, and we anticipated that after any action, there would likely be some retaliatory strikes. Our correspondent, Will Vernon, has the latest from Washington. The U.S. military, in their statement, saying that its forces targeted 14 Houthi missiles that were primed and ready for launch. And the language of the statement was quite interesting because it basically said that this was an act of self-defense. And this is a narrative we've seen time and again over the last week or so, when the U.S. and its allies are talking about the military action that they're carrying out in Yemen, that this is very much a kind of coalition, an international coalition carrying out a defensive mission, and that defensive mission is to protect international shipping, to protect the lives of mariners and indeed of their own servicemen and women, and nothing else. Now these were the fourth round of strikes carried out on Houthi targets in Yemen since last week. Last Thursday, we remember those coordinated large-scale attacks by the US, the UK, and with support from 4 other nations. Now, since then, the situation has basically descended into a kind of tit-for-tat, where the Houthis fire missiles or drones, and then US forces respond. Now, these fresh strikes came a few hours after a US-owned vessel, a bulk carrier, was hit by a drone fired from Houthi-controlled territory in Yemen. The US military said that the ship was seaworthy, although it was damaged, and continued its journey. Now the big question now, of course, is what happened